I don't have specific goals with TransAVormer, but I sort of left it in an intermediary state, and I would like to not do that. That's the goal. Don't do that. In particular, like I think that these demos work from the command line, but as yet I had nothing actually tested in the web version, which is the more important version. So let me get these libavjs libraries where they really belong. Not dist, I want demo. Do I not have any test files? I do not have any test files. Let me snag myself a test file using the wrong browser. GitHub. Tests, files, webm. That shouldn't have taken that long. Okay. Let's try transmux first. I don't remember how I made this work, but let's find out. Oh, that's not promising. Yeah, there's definitely timestamp issues here, as you can tell by the madness that's happening, so it's imperfect, shall we say. Hello, Speglad. Welcome. No. Okay, so I'm just getting whatever libavjs is in here, which may be horrendously obsolete. Yep, that's right. This is on the clock, Speglad. I'm getting paid for this. .617. That is not up to date at all, but probably shouldn't be enough of an issue. So 647 is the newest version. Yeah, that's right, Speglad. Sweet, sweet Twitch money from occasionally getting a view. Wait. Oh, did I just not NPMI? That instantly seems better. Yeah, this is now correct. Okay. But I think that something in the transcode pipeline was never working. Oh god, this is going to be horrifically slow. I've just realized. Oh no. Should be able to play a partial file, but only once it's at least got something in it. Oh no. Oh. Oh, I just had a very interesting idea. What if I overlaid the VC face feed on top of a real webcam feed, fed that into uh, uh, Stable Diffusion Turbo, then maybe it would be willing to do things like bring in my hand, and yet it could also, well, something is here. It could also, like, be Yaw Weasel. Oh. Yeah, I don't... No, this is all correct. Yeah, it's just that that's how much it's encoded. Holy shit. Okay, that is working. Let me actually, because I think this is 30 seconds or something. It's 10 seconds. 10 seconds takes too long. It's not a problem that this takes this long. This is not like something you really ought to be doing. This is quite a ridiculous process I'm doing here. H264. No, Spec Lad. This is a framework for using existing things. Let me just see what the what I wrote in the README. It is a stream-based front end for libavjs and web codecs, and it is a system for trans everything-ing. Again, even worse actually, Spec Lad. Let me just do an important... MPEG is the misanthropic patent extortion gang. You will not see me endorsing any of their garbage. Anyway, it is a system for trans everything-ing, in the sense of, like, transcoding, transmuxing, all of that, but it can either use software, which is what it's doing now, which is why it's so slow, because it's like by way of JavaScript, or it can use web codecs. My actual goal today is to deal with web codecs, which I haven't even tested yet, but I would like to, make sure that it's in a state I sort of recognize in just the like, non-web codecs universe first. The one problem being it's going to take so long to test that it's painful. Okay, yeah, that was an exciting 1 second of nothing. Now, how shall I write a... let me start from transmux.js. Yeah, I think that's the reasonable way to do it. Wait. This is not my preferred editor for HTML. Oh my god, I don't even have traditional GVim installed! GVim is extremely old, and there are many versions from, like, long dead backends. Unfortunately, NeoVim, at least in my configuration, is just not very good at HTML, and it tends to get in the way, so... Why can't you find that directory? Oh, that's annoying. Wow. That @ sign breaks everything. Autocomplete not working. Nothing is working. Exactly that, Spec Lad. Exactly that. Ooh, that was very broken. Okay, don't do that. Yes. Let's go ahead and have an input type equals file. ID equals file. That should be adequate, given that this is just a demonstration. It's already loaded. FS, of course, doesn't apply. I think my name was TransAVormer, which would make sense. Yes. I apparently don't need this to be async. Hack. On Schnarcher. Now we need to snag the file out of that. Onch. File element. I believe that files is an array, and file 0 should just be a file, which is a kind of blob. Right. Give me something here. Dot files. File list, fine. If I recall my own API, you are allowed to just use a file as the input directly. Yes. See, this is the idea. Like, you can just write, build me a muxer to Matryoshka, here's the input, and it will figure out all of the other layers that are needed automatically. Actually, I should be able to create a new file, and then it'll have a name, right? And then I want URL.create object URL something. I keep expecting it to autocomplete, but this is not NeoVim. I've got to pick my poison here. Let me actually, so long as I'm at it, give it a type, just for giggles. Now we can watch this fail in spectacular fashion. Should have probably added a new line there. It doesn't even have a name. That's so infuriating. Why did I add the whole name thing if you're not going to name it? Okay. So it's not too surprising that muxing worked, because muxing is the vastly, almost laughably easier part. Here's what I'll do. Style dot display equals block. There we go. Now we get to see it almost certainly fail, because this is where it's actually going to use some hardware encoding and decoding, and that's going to do weird shit. Link plus block display style equals blink. Definitely that. Just made myself a blink. 100% bona fide. Look at that. Keep my boilerplate. Okay. Don't need any of that. That was just a special part of this. Have the encoder in there. This is now just the file. Now I once again... It's almost all boilerplate because I've made this such a gloriously high-level library like I should have. In fact, all of this is the same. So this is identical except for this. That was a lot of work to change one object. This is not going to work. Do not think that this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work. This is not going to work. It works. Boy, that worked gorgeously. Unless I missed something. This is VP8. Now do Theora. I mean, there's nothing actually stopping me from doing Theora. I would just have to build Theora support into JavaScript, because it's obviously not going to be in the modern web codecs standard. But since that is VP8, I know that it did actually transcode. It's super cool. Okay. This is bad. Ew. Okay. Okay, well, I got something to fix. It's good to actually have things to fix now and again. This would be both on the decoder and the encoder that could happen. But the decoder, that's just going to go through something. I suppose the normalizer, if I'm using it, I'm probably not using it, could be it. I think the encoder is the most likely place where that's happening. Okay, I've got these all in a single kind of frame. I probably would have used coded width then, yeah. Well, you know, GitHub gonna GitHub. TransAVormer. DuckDuckGo has it first one. Should I forget whether audio frames even have an explicit close. Do you need to close audio frames? It's not called audio frame, it's called audio data. Yep. Is that really the only one? It should be that once it gets into the actual encoder. I don't know whether there's a normalizer popping up here, but if there is, then I probably made the same mistake. Yes, I did. Ah. Hard refresh. I'm watching you. Don't you say it closed. Yeah, the GC would have run by now. Well, this is much, much farther along than I thought it was. I had, like, never even tested it in the browser, as demonstrated by the fact that I didn't have any of that written. So I was not expecting it to mostly just work. But that gives me the opportunity to test actual filters. So, starting from transcode, let's do a filtering demonstration. So the input to the encoder, claymation filter. Now, I do, like, there is a user overridable frame stream. Like, you can just provide your own frames and encode them. Unfortunately, that would be the only way to make a claymation filter, because you would need to do the AI externally. Let's see, so I want... Let's use my own documentation. It's actually an AV filter, a LA filter, as in libav filter. The video filter as what's a fun... Oh, wait. I was thinking, what's a fun FFmpeg filter, but it has to be a filter that's actually in the web. Are there any filters in the web codecs branch? Shit. I think that might be a filterless branch. And web codecs, AVF. Yeah, we're going to have to swap-a-do over to the AVF version that actually has filters in order to do this. Let's uninstall the non-AVF version then. No clay this time, Joey. No clay. This is just code. It's not actually important that I use a different branch here, but if I'm going to be using a different branch elsewhere, I should just be consistent about it. That's not even the variant I was using! That is the variant I was using in the web, though. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, of course it is. Now, what are the filters that I actually include in the AVF versions? Let's start with video filters. Not a lot. Guess it'll have to be crop. At least I know it's there. Let's actually start on the web here. Okay, the input, that was very broken. It's now a filter, a LibAV filter. I eat a lot of chicken. I used to say that I was personally responsible for the death of a frightening number of chickens. I've actually, like, I just eat a lot less meat than I used to. I still eat plenty of meat, don't get me wrong, but, like, I reduced the meat amount in my lunches by a ton. There's barely any meat in my lunches, and I have usually, like, 2 vegan dinners a week. So, mostly chickpeas. Video filter. You know what? I'm going to use exactly the filters I have on the suggestion, unless I have a more interesting. These are meant to be like useful filters rather than fun filters. Not to be confused with Peachix. That's true. Well, so the problem is, Speclad, there definitely is a sepia filter within FFmpeg, but like libavjs, because you have to download the entire thing, I'm quite sort of careful about what I actually build into it by default, and so they're all very practical filters, not sort of fun filters. So, is there a sepia filter? Yes. Is there one built into a sort of regular version of libavjs that we wouldn't have to rebuild ourselves just to have that? No. The problem with the volume is I could easily miss the fact that the volume was actually changed. Oh, wait. No, I can't. There we go. I definitely won't miss that. That might even be out of range. It doesn't say anything about limit on the range. Doesn't it literally? It's a string. What? Okay. Yeah, fine. We'll make it 8 times as loud, and it'll just kill me. It'll be fun. Okay, so I'm now into components I have literally never tested. There is no way that this will just work. It just isn't going to. I should probably save this if I expect to actually use it. Volume equals banana. Apparently it's a string. I guess that would do something. I don't friggin' know what it would do. Oh, well, this is the worst possible result. Ugh. 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 Eee. Ugh. Ah. I don't like that. Is it doing anything right now? In this configuration, if I do top, will it do anything? That's useless. If I do top on my host rather than the VM, yeah, it's not even taking CPU. Okay. What is the way that I test this that's a little bit simpler? You know what? I think what I do is I do some like outputting to figure out whether things are actually happening at all. I guess I don't know whether it's the frame normalizer letting me down or the because the frame normalizer should be there. It has to bring it into libav format to apply filters. It's normalizer. I can quite simply log frames as they go. Oh, so much for having like a reasonable number of reasonable number of versions in the development. I wish NPM had a better way of handling this because the API is the same. Yeah, problem is it's not really meant for just APIs. It got a single frame. The thing is that doesn't necessarily, like, that doesn't mean it failed. In fact, that means it worked. We don't expect it to, because it's like a pull system. It has to pull a frame through for it to push a frame through. So that's pretty much as expected. There can't really be people who type out npm run build every time, are there? Like, surely everybody makes a makefile to do that. How is it even possible that none of the frames made it in? So I don't understand. They came out of there. Oh, I wonder if push frame isn't doing what it should be doing. Suppose I can log this, make sure something's going through at that level. I never so people like shell history. People who do a lot of shell history foo. That's just not something I've ever sort of managed to internalize. It's just sort of not the way that I think about using the shell. This is odd. It never made it to that point. Is it possible that it only got a video frame? Control R. Oh, yeah. It's more foo than I'm accustomed to. This is very silly, but quick way to get at least a sense of where it's going to. I could add those in the debugger here as well, but it doesn't matter. See. Oh. Well, it looks like I majorly botched up push frames somehow. This shouldn't be in this case. It should be in this case. Is it conceivable that I'm failing to copy in the frame data? I mean, I guess it's conceivable that the frame data is wrong in the actual frame somehow, and that's just botching everything else up. Glad to have found something wrong with TransAVormer. I wouldn't have had anything to do today. The lack of trailing commas really rustling your jimmies. Now, I learned JavaScript before this was allowed. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if JavaScript ever had that disallowed. But I certainly learned that before before it was what am I trying to say? I learned that before, like I knew C before I knew JavaScript. So trailing commas was I did learn JavaScript before ES5. I learned JavaScript on Netscape, whichever version introduced JavaScript, Netscape 4 or something. So that means it was in this case, but if it didn't make it to E, then that means that this froze? How is that possible? So, like, it was already entirely in the right mode, and it just, like, chose to fail. This is literally impossible. What? Why is that? Okay, yeah, so even though it got compiled to something very confusing, it should have gone here. Yeah, break to 8. 8. So, like, either it goes to 8 or it does this. It can't do neither. Neither is not an option. Oh, I guess that doesn't count as a change, does it? Ew. This is undefined. Wow, I really effed that one up bad. Oh, yeah, damn it. This is an async. This is a major bug in TypeScript. That when you have a local async function, it assumes your this is correct, which it is. It just can't be. It never is. That's like seriously something that TypeScript should fix, because that's a like that is not the first time it's bitten me, and I'm usually, you know, quite good about thinking about that kind of thing, mainly because I learned all of this before any of that existed. Okay, so it's made it out of there. I'm sure there is somewhere, Speculad. Now the problem is, it's very difficult to tell. Okay, yeah, by the time it says it's being garbage collected, that means something has gone horribly wrong. So, at the very least, it has now made it out of the normalizer. Good God, I had not written the normalizer correctly. which means coming back to this, if I put that log back in, I ought to be getting it in, unless there's like some extra layer I've accidentally introduced. The unfortunate thing with, wizards is that you sometimes don't know exactly what's happening under the covers. But nope, it's getting all the right stuff. Oh, and it's even creating the context correctly. Well, it's creating the context. I can't vouch for correctly. I don't understand why I'm not getting... Because like that was an error that it didn't pop up in the console, so something must be catching it. That's it. Oh God. I forgot that there's all this setup that always throws exceptions just as part of its setup process. This is my stack? How did I get... What? Okay, let me... It's just... I need to fix my brain here, and I know how. Oh, oops. Except that now I didn't do this. That was the entire point. There we go. Now I'm not 50 levels deep in madness. Okay, so... So it was a filter error. The question is, why was that filter error just like swallowed? Because it should have gone into this pull, which would have crashed the entire stream. Like it would have crashed this stream, and then the next stream, and then the next stream, and so on and so forth. Can't you bring me into this context? Buffer source. Ugh. Yes, put me in this context, damn it. Do I have to explicitly... What did I just do? So that error it gave, that the audio... Like, I did actually get the error. It's, this. Format float, 48 kilohertz, layout absolute madness. The layout of the incoming frame is 0. And it's in stereo. What? Where do I initialize the filter itself? Here. Okay, yeah, that was just a mistake. I need to, like, the video I/O settings are not just output settings, as I sort of decreed them to be. I'm supposed to fill in my own input settings based on the actual data I have, but I just didn't do that because I'm an idiot, I guess. So this is a dot filter I/O settings. I think everything is optional, right? Yeah, so it's fine for this to start out empty. Dot. You know what? What I should do is do that after, yeah, so that they can override this. Frames is, okay. I now see why I didn't do this. Realized I already have let ions there, so I don't need another one. I might need to do a little bit of tomfoolery to get this to compile, since obviously I just said that that doesn't happen. I guess I don't need this. Copy in frame from, no, copy out frame from itself. Oh, wait. No, do not free the frame. It's still going to be used. It's going to be used elsewhere. This is just for informational purposes. Okay, so... oh, it's just format there. frame rate isn't actually important. The frame size is for audio, sample, channel layout. Okay, the rest is audio. And then if and allow them to overwrite it like so. Width, height, pixel format, type defaults to audio, but I may as well. The input frame size is variable anyway. Wait, where did I set the... Wait. Oh, never mind. It's only, yeah, I only am setting the output settings. So all of this I've already done, and I'm an imbecile. And now we just undo everything I just did, and then we go to make filter, because I've actually read my own code. So if it's a video, we copy it in, we get the frame width and height and all that jazz. This is madness. Okay, so that's if it's... I see. This is the input options. So what seems to be happening is that somehow the frame's channel layout is madness, and that's probably the normalizer. In fact, crap, that's not the normalizer. I know exactly where that is. That's the the copier to copy data out of web codecs and into libav, which is libavjs web codecs bridge. Codecs 2LA, audio data, 2LA frame. Yeah. Okay. So at one level, because that doesn't tell you the channel layout, I wasn't providing it because it would have been maddening to do so. But at the other level, I was assuming it would be provided. Layout. Default to 4. If frame.channel layout, then channel layout equals frame.channel layout, else if frame.channels and it's not equal to 1, in which case 4 is correct, then channel layout equals 1 shifted left by frame.channels minus 1. Then I will use that channel layout as the default, and I will use that channel layout as the default, and I will not count on channel layout actually being in the object, which I said was optional and then just chose to assign. Did I even have an X? No, I didn't have an X one. Oh, of course, because it's also technically optional here. Good God. Two wrongs do make a wrong. Hey, that's looking better. Heyo! Ow, my brain, ow. I forgot that was volume 8. Ow. Well, I know it worked. I can't hear now. Y'all should be glad that that wasn't going to you. Ow. Now add a subtitle track. Well, I'll need it now that I've blown my hearing out. Oh, I need to remove that console log, and because I was forced to use the non-AVF version anyway, I need to make sure that I... That's cropped. Very, very cropped. Okay. Need to just be careful about this edition because I no longer want to use AVF everywhere. Don't need that console log. This was the fix. No, no. So glad I do this patch-wise so that I can actually control this. That was a fix, but it was a different fix. I'm going to do one fix at a time here. Okay. The demo can go with this fix. Add my extra new fancy fresh demos. Did I really not add the TransMux demo in the first place? Odd. Okay, everything else looks fine. Oh yeah, because that was already there. Fancy fresh demos. Spelled like words are spelled. The remaining diffs should all be garbage. Garbage, 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 garbage. Oh god, I'm already over an hour. I didn't even realize. Let's see here. So input is obviously working. I've tested both kinds. I have not tested the user-provided streams. I probably should add some demos for that by way of testing. It's like the only testing that's really happening here is the demonstrations, and that's not by design, but given that this is just wrappers around other libraries, like, the only question is, have I wrapped them correctly? So, not actually that much testing to be done. Tested the encoder. I have not tested the stream selector. I should really do that. Again, haven't tested the user streams. I've tested the decoder. I've tested the filter. Again, free stream selectors, haven't tested. User streams, I haven't tested. And the muxer is the only output. Okay. So like 75% of the content actually has useful tests and works even. It actually works. Okay, that was productive. Till next time, stream over.